to another episode of the Sideline. My name is Rishi,
My name is Asher Hire.
and we have a lot to talk about. Most of the stuff has happened just the last few days, like since Sunday, basically. But nonetheless, last week of sports has been pretty crazy. We're gonna start off with baseball. A lot has happened in postseason
Yes,
baseball.
sir.
There were 3 games today. All 3 games had a chance to clinch for the ALCS. Only 2 did. The Astros, Braves, and Red Sox clinched last night. But Houston and Atlanta both clinched today. So the ALCS is set. Houston and Boston. What do you think about that, Asher?
I mean, that's going to be a good series, I think. I think the Astros are going to win. I feel like they're the best team in the – I mean, I guess there's only 2 teams left. But I think they were the best team in the AL like the whole season pretty much. And I just think with their lineup, I mean, that lineup's like 7, 8 deep, maybe with Jake Myers, who just got hurt the last game. That hurts him a little bit, but yeah, that lineup is crazy. The pitching staff is good. I mean, just like they're just like proven that like there's so many people like haters and stuff about them cheating and everything, and like they're just here to show you like we're good.
Yeah.
We're actually good.
Yeah, they're just good. They're really good. I wanted Chicago to win, but
yeah, I did too.
Man, that team is good. Dusty Baker he started he was really good in Washington, but like in the regular season they never were able to get anything going in the postseason. But this is 2 straight seasons now in Houston where they're going to go to the ALCS with him, and it's 5 straight overall.
Yeah,
which just shows that's just incredible consistency. I think it's the first team
especially
ever.
in a sport like baseball.
Yeah, dynasties are so hard to build.
Yeah.
They made 2 World Series already, and
I mean that the ALDS is only a best of 5. So like,
yeah,
I mean like any team can beat any team in a best of 5 series, and to be able to reach the ALCS 5 years in a row since 2017, it's just wild.
Yeah, crazy. And then Boston, man, I did not see that coming. I thought both of us thought that the Rays were just going to blow them out of the water. After Game 1, it really seemed like that, but Jesus, Kike Hernandez really just carried that team on his back. He really picked up the offensive slack that they were missing with JD Martinez.
I think he hit like 500 this series.
Yeah, it was insane. He had 8 straight plate appearances to hit.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I've never seen Kike Hernandez play that good in my entire life. But he's always been pretty good in the postseason.
Yeah.
Even with Boston or with the Dodgers.
He was annoying in LA. But I think we got to talk about that call in Game 3.
Yeah,
Game 3. It was a ball smacked by Kevin Kiermaier in like the 13th inning, I believe. And there was a guy on first, and it was hit into the gap. Like it's an obvious double. It bounces out the warning track. It hits the wall, and then it bounces off of the right fielder Hunter Renfroe, and then into the dugout or into the bullpen. And they ruled that, like, I thought it was just like a ground rule double at first. I thought, I don't know, it hit the dirt and went over. But when they showed the replay and it hit off of Renfroe, I'm like, whoa. And no one knew the players.
Yeah, no one knew how to score it.
Yeah. And they eventually just called it a ground rule double. They put the guy who was obviously going to score from first base, and they would have taken the lead in that 13th inning. They put him back at third. They put Kiermaier, who I think might have had a triple. They put him back at second. And then the Rays going to score. And then the inning after that, like, of course. That's just what happens in sports.
Yeah.
Teams just take advantage of stuff. And very next inning, it's a 2-run walk-off homer, and the Red Sox win it, and they win the series. So, I mean, that call, it's the correct call.
Yeah.
Like I saw people were complaining, but, I mean, it's correct. Renfroe didn't do it intentionally.
Yeah, and it's like in the rule book too. Like if it is bounced off of someone, like they get 2 bases. But it's got to be. I mean, he was going to score. Yandy Diaz was already halfway around third before it was. Yeah,
it's got to be like 2 bases from the point, like from where the runner is.
Yeah,
like Diaz is he's way past second base, so I feel like they should award the runner like, home if you're.
Yeah, I mean, he was like already at third.
Yeah.
When it went over the wall. So he's gonna score.
Yeah.
Unless Hunter Renfrow makes the greatest throw in the history of baseball from right field to the home plate in a second, he's gonna score. So they have to think about that like circumstantially. There has to be a change in that.
I think on fan interference, the umpires get the decision of where the runners are, I think.
Yeah. With fan interference, I'm pretty sure they get to review it.
Yeah.
See, but they should have been able to review it and change it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, even though it was the right call, that's a season-changing call. Like, I think the Rays probably win that game if that doesn't happen.
Play 165 games. That was the 165th game, and for it to come down to a ball bouncing off a fielder.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, I think that if the Rays win that game, they probably win the series.
Yeah.
Because game 3, it goes in the 13th inning, and you get a huge hit like that.
You got all the momentum.
Yeah, and then Boston wins, and then they jump out to a huge lead, and then the Rays fought back, but eventually Boston won, and that was a crazy. I didn't expect it at all, and that call really really changed.
And I just feel bad, like for the. There's not many of them, but I feel bad for the Rays fans.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I know a few on Twitter, and they were not happy about it.
Yeah.
But that's just they have to change that because it doesn't happen often, but this is now the precedent. For that being said, I don't think that's a good precedent for that to happen.
Yeah, but regardless, I got the Astros. I guess I'll say in like 6 or 7 against the Red Sox. What do you think?
I'm probably with you there. I want Boston to win. I don't know. Their pitching staff concerns me. Is the thing they don't like Chris Sale and Nathan Eovaldi are really the only 2 consistent guys there. And in a 7-game series, you need more than 2, and the Astros definitely have that.
Yeah.
And the Astros lineup, both the offenses are really good, but it just comes down to the consistency pitching wise. So I'll probably go Houston. Probably in 6, and
we'll see how Devers, if he gets healthy or not.
Yeah.
That was, even though he hit a homer, like he cannot hit a pitch in the upper half of the strike zone.
Yeah, he just can't lift his arms high enough.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with JD Martinez. He can't get any power in his swing because his left leg is just like gone.
Yeah.
There's no power. So that's their 2 best offensive players.
I know.
So if they can get healthy, I think they'll definitely have more of a shot. But regardless, that lineup has been really good.
Yeah. The Braves clinched against the Brewers today, which was surprising to me. the Brewers just had no offense the entire series.
Yeah, this was really the only game where they had some.
Yeah. And I was surprised. I think I picked the Brewers to go to the World Series because of their pitching staff, and I just thought they were just more consistent. Even though their lineup, like you look through the lineup and the names aren't that big, and you're like all right, this lineup doesn't seem like it's all that, but it's like kind of like Tampa, where they're just super consistent all around. They know how to hit with runners in scoring position and all that, and know how to hit in the big moments, but they didn't this series. And the Braves, even without Ronald Acuna, are into the NLCS.
Yeah, they got a lot of production from Jock Peterson mainly. He stepped up big time. Freddie Freeman, he was MVP last year. I think he probably should have gotten a little more love this season. A lot of the buzz about Tatis and Harper, and rightfully so. I think those 2 are probably going to be the top 2, but I think Freddie Freeman probably should have been in there too, because like you said, Ronald Acuna out for the year, and they still win the division, and now they're in the NLCS. So and the Braves pitching, Max Fried and Charlie Morton, that's a pretty good combo, and their bullpen, which was kind of their weak spot, I think, at least the back end, because Will Smith has been just ridiculously inconsistent. He really locked it down. And in all 3 of their wins, he played really good.
Matzik.
Yeah, Matzik, Willie Jackson.
Yeah,
a lot of really good pitchers on that staff, and Max Fried is the leader.
Ian Anderson is another good
staff. Oh yeah. With the Brewers out, I don't think. Well, it depends on the Dodgers. because they went to them and San Francisco went to Game 5 tonight. But I think that it's going to be hard to find a better 3 in the postseason than Morton, Freed, and Anderson.
Yeah. And like you said, the Giants and Dodgers going into Game 5. Is it tomorrow or is it?
I think it's Thursday because they get a travel day.
Yeah. I mean, this is just like perfect. I mean, it's the two best teams in baseball. I think I think they have the 2 best records.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to one game in San Francisco. Probably going to be Kevin Gausman starting, I would assume, for the Giants, and then for the Dodgers, it's going to be Scherzer.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm really looking forward to this. We'll see.
Yeah, that's going to be a really, really good matchup. I mean, Scherzer didn't even pitch bad, and when he was there in Game 3, I mean, he went 7 innings, 10 Ks, and 1 walk. It's just one hit from Longoria that went out, and that was the difference. But I don't know. I want to pick the Dodgers just because they're the better team, and
they are. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely more talented.
Yeah,
overall.
But the Giants, man,
the Giants just fight and fight and fight.
Their bullpen's just made up of a bunch of no names, and it's elite.
A lot of young guys, a lot of old guys who have just bounced around, and then
it just makes no sense. Anthony DeSclafani was not like this in Cincinnati. Darren Ruff was, I didn't even know who he was until last year, and Buster Posey kind of has had a resurgence this year. Brandon Belt had the best season.
Brandon Crawford has never been able to hit his entire career. And then all of a sudden has this, I think, a 900 OPS.
He's been insane. He's always been an elite shortstop defensively, and his bat was the biggest thing. And he just, I don't know how they did it, but if it's a 1-game thing, I find it very hard to convince.
That's what I was thinking.
Los Angeles. Because they have so much talent, Mookie, and then Trey Turner, and then Justin Turner, and they also have Cody Bellinger, who's kind of been awoken a little bit. Yeah. They have Will Smith, they have Corey Seager, who's World Series MVP.
AJ Paul, Chris Taylor. I mean,
so many guys,
and I mean, it's just wild.
Ridiculous.
The pitching staff, you can do the same thing.
Yeah,
just going on and on and on with these huge names.
Their bullpen, I mean, they being able to have Blake Trinan and Kenley Jansen and Corey Knebel, it's just
and Brewster has been nails in the
oh my god, that I don't know how he throws over 100. He looks like he's barely throwing, and it's ridiculous. Oh my god, it's just so hard to pick against them. I have to go with that.
It is. I'm gonna just go with the Giants just because I know home field advantage isn't the biggest thing in baseball, compared to basketball or football, but I don't know. I just feel like the Giants they've come through the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
They've beaten the Dodgers in late games, or late in games in the regular season, and I just think they'll do it again. I hope it's a close game. If it's like tonight, a 7-2 game,
Yeah, I hope it's a close game. I hope it's the Braves and game today, where it's just back and forth, and a late hit wins it. But that's gonna be a crazy game. I'm glad, like you said, it ends on a Game 5.
Yeah. Moving on to basketball before we get into football, just pretty big news for Ben Simmons, who we thought was definitely, I mean, everyone thought he was gone in Philly. Even he thought he was gone in Philly. Definitely thought he would get traded at some point. But now he's just back. He showed up out of nowhere. Apparently the team officials didn't even know he was coming. And there he is back at the team facilities, vaccinated, and he's ready to go for Philly, I guess.
It's such a weird thing. Woj said it last night, on SVP, just Elton Brand was just in his office, and then he gets a text hey, Ben's outside and needs to get in. It's what?
Yeah.
How were they in contact constantly with Rich Paul and Ben Simmons' camp, and they didn't know he was coming?
I mean,
how does that?
It's wild.
Oh, how does that happen? But I'm still a believer in Ben Simmons on the court. I think that his playoff struggles are just I think the real, obviously, I don't think that, it's not, I don't think I think it is a microcosm of who he is as a player because he can't shoot. And in the playoffs, you have to shoot. That's his biggest issue. But I think this year is a wake up call for him. I think he was able to look in himself and figure out that, I need to change. Like I need to improve. So I'm still a believer in him. I think that if Philly is with him, they're so much more dangerous because everyone does like to focus on the not shooting part, and that is big. But look at him; he's probably the best perimeter defender in basketball. He's an elite playmaker. You're not going to find those two at the point guard position, especially. And I think that the notion that him and Embiid can't play together, I don't think that's true because when they were the 1 seed last year, if in the playoffs it gets a little weird, but I think if he's just aggressive, he can be fine. He doesn't even need to shoot. If he's just aggressive scoring, he can get to the rim whenever he wants.
Yeah, he's a good finisher. I was about to say, like, he's pretty elite at finishing around the rim, too.
He's bigger than 90% of other point guards and 90% of other players in the NBA in general. Like, he can get to the rim whenever he wants and finish. It's just a matter of whether he wants to.
Yeah, it's his mindset.
Yeah.
And then, if we just want to move on to the Nuggets, I guess, just because we're Denver fans, of Bones Hyland has been amazing, sensation rookie for us. It looks like Tim Connolly hit again on another post-lottery draft pick. His offense looks great. His dribbling, his finishing looks great. His shooting looks good. Defense obviously is questionable. We knew that after they drafted him. I hope he plays immediately. I think you do too.
Yeah, I think he will. Malone said in a press conference today that he's going to play. I don't believe it because Malone is a liar and he likes trolling with the media because one time he said MPJ was going to be the sixth man after he went off against Indiana. It was like his first breakout game.
Oh yeah.
He was off the bench. He had 25 points. And Malone after the game was like, yeah, he's our sixth man. I think this game proved it. And then the next game he didn't even play. So I don't believe him. Yeah. I don't believe him. And it's notorious for him not to play rookies. But I think Bones is different. He just seems different. He seems like he's willing to get on the good side of people. And he's willing to work harder. He doesn't look like he takes offense to being benched or anything. Like he looks like he knows.
His personality.
Yeah.
Like, in the videos, he just got this like high pitched voice, so energetic.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a perfect teammate. And
he's a joy. And Jokic really likes him too. If you have the franchise icon and the head coach's approval, I think it's a pretty good sign that you're gonna play. And I think that he has to just that bench, no scoring. At all. We're all high on PJ Dozier. We said this last episode too. We're all high on PJ Dozier, but until he can show that he can score consistently, we can't really show that. And I think that he's going to be able to take that leap, but Bones Hyland can do that immediately. And I think that the bench really needs that. So I'm really excited.
I feel like since Will Barton moved into the starting lineup a few years ago, like the Nuggets have really been missing this bench score, this consistent score off the bench, like a Lou Williams, a Jamal Crawford type. And that's who people are kind of comparing Bones to. So I think that's needed for the team. And it's needed immediately. So hoping he plays.
Excited. I'm really excited. He looks so good. His personality is just so infectious. He just always has a smile on his face. So he looks perfect for the team. I think a lot of people were wrong about him coming into the draft. So I'm really excited.
All right, moving on to football. We can start out with the biggest news of the year probably is John Gruden just out as a Raiders head coach. He was coaching 2 days ago, and he is not anymore. He's not part of the Buccaneers Ring of Fame anymore. He signed that 10-year, $100 million huge contract 3 years ago, and now he could only last 3 years before. Obviously, it wasn't due to football. but all the emails that they found of him sending to that Washington owner or whoever he was. And I mean, just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just gone like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't normally do this, but I applaud the Raiders for doing that so fast. Because the second that New York Times article came out that kind of detailed all of the emails, they moved fast and he was gone. I know he resigned, but I'm pretty sure he could tell that he was going to. If he didn't resign, he was going to get fired. So good on the Raiders.
I mean, it's just wild how like today's age with social media and everything, like this whole cancel culture stuff is just insane. I mean, this guy just leaves after one day. I mean, obviously they're right for getting rid of him, but you got like Antonio Brown is employed by the Buccaneers who just removed Gruden from the Ring of Fame. And Antonio Brown, like, I mean, he's like his actions have, I mean, he's probably a worse guy than John Gruden is.
Yeah, I think, like you're right. It was the right move to get rid of Gruden, but the NFL has to be more strict about that. Like if they say that this stuff isn't there, then like why is Richie Incognito still in the league?
Yeah. I mean,
he's literally on the same team as John Gruden, and he said it publicly, but he's still on the same team. There's guys with domestic violence issues that are still in the league. There's guys who have, like, there's so much worse that has happened, and they're still in the league. So I agree with that NFL has to be more consistent about it. I think this is like a bold claim, and I'm not, accusing anything, but I think the NFL did this because they want to take attention away from the actual reason for why the emails got released, because this was an investigation into Washington, not into John Gruden. I think they found worse about Washington, and they were like, you know what, we have to do something. So they leaked the stuff about Gruden instead of what really was going on with Washington, because we all know that Dan Snyder is a horrible person and a horrible human being.
Yeah.
And if John Gruden was doing stuff with the Washington ownership group, there's a very high chance Dan Snyder knew about it, and there's a very high chance that other people in the NFL were involved in it as well. So
that's a good point.
I think there's a lot more to it.
I mean, it's just like, it's really just all about the money for the NFL and just the viewers. I mean, like we were saying about the players, I feel like the players just have more like leniency, just because like people are gonna watch Antonio Brown and the team, and I don't know. Like,
they're gonna watch Antonio Brown because Antonio Brown is a top athlete in the world and he's really good at football. Yeah. But they don't care about other things. And I would be wrong if I said that I think about what he did when I'm watching him play. Like that doesn't cross my mind. What he's done in the past. It didn't cross my mind when I was watching the Raiders game with what was happening with John Gruden. But it's just it's not a good look all around for the NFL in general. And I'm glad that they got him out, because it is one less person like that in the NFL. But I can guarantee he's not the only person like that in the NFL.
For sure.
And I can guarantee that there's more to that entire story that the NFL is just not releasing.
Yeah. I just feel like, man, like some of these owners, man, these like rich white owners are just disgusting. A lot of them.
I mean, some of the stuff they were like talking about, they were like exchanging topless cheerleader photos. Like, what is wrong with you guys? You have wives. Like, come on. You have wives. You have children. Go hang out with them. What do you? I
mean, Urban Meyer was in that thing.
Yeah, like
that situation. It just seems like so many of these guys in this football world are just nasty people. And
it's not just football. I'm sure a bunch of NBA owners also do this as well, and I'm sure hockey owners feel like that, and baseball owners 100% feel like that. Like, oh my god, I'm sure like when the MLB started doing their like Black Lives Matter thing last season, I'm sure there were MLB owners who were furious about it. I'm sure there were NBA owners who were furious that they had Black Lives Matter on the court in the bubble. And even though like this is a statement that's true, I'm sure there are people who are just getting all sorts of riled up about it. So, just messy.
Don't want to get too political here. But I mean, that's not really politics. It's more common sense. All right, we can get into the games, I guess.
Mhm.
We'll talk about like these two AFC showdowns: Browns, Chargers, Bills, Chiefs. We'll start out with the Browns and the Chargers. I mean, this was a great game, back and forth. The Browns looked like they had the momentum, looked like they were gonna win, up 27-13 the beginning of the third quarter, and then the Chargers just score and go for it on fourth down and go for it on fourth down, and then score touchdowns, and then boom, all of a sudden they're at 42 points, and beat the Browns.
Yeah, man. Brandon Staley.
Yeah,
that dude is aggressive.
I mean, he's got to be the most aggressive coach like ever. Like, have you ever seen?
No,
go for it on fourth and seven.
Like 4th and 7 in field goal range when you can win.
Yeah,
and they go for it. Like, what are you doing? And it worked.
Mm-hmm.
It's worked out twice now, where they should have just kneeled and taken a field goal, and instead he's like, "No, we're going touchdown," and it worked.
Yeah.
And, oh my God! The Chargers are. I hate it that they're so fun to watch.
They are, man. If they were just
so
not
fun.
Chargers, it would be like one of my favorite teams.
Yeah.
I mean, just everything about them. I love the jerseys. I love just the offense. I love some of the players on defense, and just
man, they're good, which is hard. It's very hard for Broncos fans to admit, but they're really, really good, and it's the center of it is Herbert.
Man. Yeah. My God. I mean, he just makes. Never mind. We're gonna talk about quarterbacks coming up. I was about to go in Justin Herbert. I think the Chargers defense is a little concerning. Like, they got some playmakers out there, like Bosa, Derwin James, obviously, but I just think their defensive line, I just feel there's not. It's kind of like the Broncos. I feel like there's not many big people on that defensive line to stop the run. And the Browns ran all over them. All the other teams have ran over them. Obviously, the Browns are the best running team in the NFL. But I mean, the Chargers could not stop Chubb or Hunt. But I mean, the fact that they still won is crazy. I just think
that's probably game of the year so far. I mean, the fourth quarter was just ridiculous. It was back and forth, these huge plays.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a fun game. I wish the Browns won, just because of the Broncos. But it didn't really matter. Like, that was just such a fun game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, on the Browns side of things, like you mentioned, the Browns rushing attack, it's lethal. You can't do anything to stop it. That offensive line, which is, it has a claim to the best in the league, and then having 2 top 10 running backs like that. That's like you can't stop that. I mean, with Nick Chubb gets tired, boom, you get in a true 3-down back like Kareem Hunt, who can do everything.
Yeah,
he's a good pass blocker. He's a good pass catcher. He's a great runner. He's fast. He's strong. And when he gets tired, you always got Nick Chubb, who has the capability of leading the league in rushing yards, and he's impossible to tackle, and he's also a good pass catcher. It's just ridiculous. It's just insane. And then their defense also is a little concerning, but kind of like the Chargers defense, like playing that offense shouldn't be indicative of it.
Yeah.
But it is a little concerning. I mean, they have given up a lot of big plays.
Yeah. And I also wanted to talk about, what was I going to say? Oh, I want to give credit to the Chargers offensive coordinator just for, actually, I don't know his name.
Is it Joe Lombardi, right? Or is he their defense?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is Lombardi. I mean, just having the playbook ready for a 4th and 7, like, is just and delivering a nice looking play and everything. I mean,
that cohesion on the coaching staff is something we dream of one day.
Oh my God,
one day it'll happen.
And then the other AFC like top tier matchup was the Bills and the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football, and man, I think the Bills are the best team in the NFL, definitely the best team in the AFC right now. And I think, I mean, it's between them and the Buccaneers probably for best team in the NFL. And I'll just give it to the Bills. I mean, Josh Allen is crazy, as we know. I mean, I still saw people like doubting him still, even after the season he had last year, which is one of the best seasons of all time.
Yeah.
We're doubting him. I mean, I feel like this game right here just like shuts them all up. Like, Josh Allen is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. He's He's up there as one of the most talented quarterbacks ever. His legs are insane.
His arm strength and his athleticism combined.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of quarterbacks in NFL history like that. Like, and especially with his frame. Like, there's a lot of quarterbacks who have big arms and who are fast, but to do it at like 6'5", 6'6",
and to be able to hurdle someone
and hurdling people just left and right and being able to just like truck over linebackers, run like a 4.5. He's like a linebacker playing quarterback. He's ridiculous.
Yeah. Mahomes, speaking of quarterbacks, I just don't think he looks 100%. I don't know if it's some like health stuff. I mean, he's running pretty well, but I just haven't seen those crazy sidearm, running out of the pocket throws like we're so used to. And I feel like the ball is coming out wobbly. It's inaccurate a lot of the time. I know the 2 picks weren't his fault really. Like Tyreek Hill should have caught that ball, and then the other one, it was just a deflection on the D line. But I mean,
you're right.
He definitely
doesn't look like he has the last couple seasons, and I don't know if it's defenses being able to figure him out because it looks like, I mean, he's throwing to the open receivers. He's just not getting it there. Because there was a lot of plays in that game when, I mean, he was looking like pre-throw. He was running around in the pocket, improvising like he normally does. And when he throws, he either overthrew it or underthrew it, or is an interception. Like when he was doing that, it wasn't like the typical holy crap, what just happened play. It was like, what?
Yeah,
why are you doing
I know. It's just a duck. I mean, it's just wobbly. Yeah. It's short. I don't know, man. You're talking about defenses. I noticed that the Bills didn't blitz. I don't think they blitzed one play in the entire game, and I feel like that's the way to stop the Chiefs. You can't have, I mean, blitzing against Patrick Mahomes is just, with those receivers.
Yeah,
it's just too easy for him. So yeah, like you said, maybe teams are kind of figuring the Chiefs offense out. We'll see. I mean, the Chiefs defense, everyone can figure that out. Even, I mean, you can put the Jets against the Chiefs defense and they'll score 30 plus.
Yeah,
I mean, just
they look
atrocious.
Horrible.
Daniel Sorensen got torched twice. Yeah. Again, I mean, there's those pictures of like Tyrann Matthew hands up.
Yeah.
I mean, those are funny. Like, but I mean, man, there's literally no one on that defense. Yeah. Like when Chris Jones is out, I mean, there's Tyrann Matthew. I mean, I think he's still good. I don't think he's like amazing. I mean, he's a good player. Yeah. But yeah,
it's him and Chris Jones. It's him and Chris. That's it. That's the only guys who were able to make plays in that team, and it's, oh man, they could have really used like a Stephon Gilmore or something. Like,
I know
they could have really used.
I mean, they had L'Jarius needed a good rookie year. I haven't heard his name this entire year. Yeah. I think he's taking a step back. I think, man, that defense looks horrible, and that's really just what's going to be dragging the team down, because offense still looks fine. I mean, they didn't look nearly as good in this game, and part of it is just because their run game hasn't been existent really the whole year, and with Clyde Edwards-Helaire going out with injury, now it's going to be even more pass heavy. So I haven't seen people say anything about Edwards-Helaire, but I feel like that was a bad pick on their part to draft him in the first round. They
should have gotten an offensive lineman. I mean, because
I mean, Edwards-Helaire, I just don't think he's very good.
I think he's fine as a running back, but I don't think taking running back in the first round in general is a good idea, because they're so replaceable nowadays. Like, there's so many running backs with the same skill set. Mm-hmm. You can I feel like you could put Javonte Williams in the Chiefs offense and he'll do exactly what Edwards-Helaire did last year, maybe even better, just because there's so many running backs who can play the same. I mean,
and then you see Damian Williams went off, the former Chief went off against the Raiders with the Bears.
Yeah.
And they let go of Damian Williams because they drafted Edwards-Helaire. So
and then I think obviously like Christian McCaffrey, when you look at top running backs, it's McCaffrey and Kamara. I think those are probably the top two.
Yeah, and then it's the running back and Derrick Henry. It's the running backs that change the way the game is played. Like, that put him up there. Like Derrick Henry, like the whole Titans game plan is through Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, obviously he's amazing. And then, as you said, McCaffrey and Kamara, like I feel like those are the only three. I mean, Nick Chubb is up there too. But
like even then with
still
McCaffrey and Kamara, like you can find other backs who can receive.
Mike Davis.
Yeah, like Mike Davis, or you put in like James White. Like if you put James White in the Carolina system and you give him the volume that McCaffrey has, I don't think that offense would change that much.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. Like obviously McCaffrey's better, and he does a lot more things better than James White. He's on a completely different level. But James White has a very similar skill set, and that's what you can find so many different guys for a lot cheaper money, or way later in the rounds. So it's just that's why I think taking his running back just it's not smart, unless it's Javonte Williams.
Yeah, unless it's him. Everyone else, except Javonte Williams. I mean, we can talk about Denver against Pittsburgh, I guess, even though I don't. It was a depressing game. I don't really want to talk about it, but like
it's just coaching. That's I mean Pat Shurmur. I don't like the first 3 games. Play calling was perfect. I didn't see a single problem with it.
I know.
Running the ball well and timely, and you were throwing deep when it had to, and checkdowns when you had to, and going medium when you had to. But then against Baltimore, obviously Bridgewater gets hurt, so you have to dumb down the playbook a little bit because Locke isn't completely prepared for that. But this game, Bridgewater had been practicing with the ones.
Mm-hmm.
You knew he was going to start by like Wednesday. So what's the point of keeping the playbook so conservative? It makes no sense.
I mean, people were telling him to run the ball more after the Ravens game, rightfully so, because he only handed it off 4 times. But we don't mean run first and second down, pass third down. I mean, that's that's so basic. I mean, no matter what happens on first down, he ran it again in the second down. 2nd and 14, let's run it. Yeah. Let's get 3 yards and make it 3rd and 11 here.
It's just it makes no sense. I don't like. I've been a Vic Fangio defender for a while. I don't think last year was on him whatsoever. You could not have predicted there would be a pandemic and your entire team goes down to injury. I stand by that. But this year, you have a whole offseason. You have this entire time to look at this, and you still cannot come up with anything better. And the fact that Shurmur and Tom McMahon are still on the coaching staff, to me, shows that his judgment can't really be trusted. He's going to be the coach for the whole season. He's not going to get fired mid-season. We're too good to fire a coach mid-season. Like, we're too talented to do that. I'm not saying he should be fired. I'm just saying his seat got a lot warmer.
Yeah.
With this last.
I mean, please, like, I just want someone to look through like Shurmur's emails. Like, please find something to get Shurmur out of the
league. Been in the league a while. Something's got to be there.
I know. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just the past 2 games, just completely outcoached on every side of the ball. Really, even the defense was not good. Kyle Fuller has been atrocious.
Yeah.
I don't know why Ronald Darby didn't play at all. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we didn't play just because we were like, it's just like Steelers offense isn't good. Like, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Which clearly was wrong. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Like their playbook looked completely different than what it was before.
Yeah.
Like
and Big Ben looked completely different.
Yeah, he looked fine. He looked like it was like 6 years ago. I don't get it.
Like why? Like
I don't.
Against us, man.
Yeah, like I have to give this like Steelers played good. Like can't like that. Like it wasn't all on the Broncos why they lost. The Steelers played a really good game, but the Broncos shot themselves in the foot. That's
I know, all the penalties. God, those penalties after there's nothing more infuriating than like a penalty after like a 3rd down where you would have gotten the ball back. There was that pass interference off Fuller. Like maybe it was a bad call, but still that was pretty bad coverage on Fuller's part. There was that one against Draymond Jones, which
that was a stupid. He was told to do that.
Yeah.
Why is Tom McMahon?
I don't know.
He was literally told to do that. How does the special teams coach not know that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you kidding me?
That essentially gave the Steelers 4 extra points. And I mean, that was pretty much the difference.
That's the game. Yeah.
Oh, AJ Johnson dropped 2 picks. Like, come on, man. Just grab the football.
Directly led to touchdowns.
Like, come on. Yeah. God, man. Like,
just
please.
really,
but still, the Broncos were outplayed. Like, the Steelers should have won that game. It was crazy that the Broncos even had an opportunity to tie it, which of course they didn't. You know, let's throw a fade to our smallest receiver on 3rd and goal, right? When you got 2 beasts in the running back,
2 of the best jump ball receivers in the entire NFL.
Yeah. Let's throw it to the smallest guy who's a punter.
Let's throw it to the 5'9" return specialist.
And then even the 4th down play, like that was so basic too. It was like 2 like out route. Teddy, I thought Teddy could have ran it, but I mean whatever.
We didn't run a single time inside the 3.
Really?
Yeah. We had like 4 trips inside the 3, didn't run a single time.
Oh my god.
It's phenomenal. Great coaching.
The goal to go offense is horrible.
Yeah, the red zone offense in general.
When Javonte Williams got that penalty, well here's another one that he got that spiking penalty, the delay game penalty after he ran into the 2-yard line. Like, I mean, we probably still wouldn't have scored a touchdown, even though it was 1st and goal at the 2. But right as he got that penalty, I'm like, all right, we're not scoring. Like 1st and goal from the 8, that's a field goal. We're not scoring because Shermer's horrible. And
but I do want to say a bright spot was definitely Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
And the receiving core in general, I think, had a really good game, but it was mostly Cortland Sutton. He looked, and this is like he looked kind of mentally checked out in the first half, and honestly, I didn't blame him because this is the place where he tore his ACL last year, and he just looked tentative. He didn't look like he wanted contact, but in the second half, something happened, and he just looked like a completely different player, and he took over. So I'm happy for him that he got his first touchdown of the season.
Kendall Hinton looks smooth and reliable really too.
Yeah, he had
that good toe tap at the end of the game.
So there were definitely bright spots. And when the Broncos offense went no huddle, it looked really good.
Why does it just look really good in the 4th quarter, but you can't do like anything like that in the first 3? I don't get it.
I don't know. Hopefully they found something.
Yeah. Oh, there's another thing that I'm talking about Vic Fangio that I really want to talk about is the Von Miller.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
It wasn't originally Von Miller was supposed to rush, but there was a motion on the Steelers offense to the right, I think, or to the left or whatever that forced Von Miller into coverage. And he's going out to Claypool. I'm like, first of all, like, okay, why is Von Miller in coverage? Like, but it's going to be a zone, right? Because Von Miller's in coverage. Like, it's got to be a zone. No.
It's man.
Von Miller against one of the fastest people in the world, one of the most athletic freaks in the world, Chase Claypool. And yeah, let's just stick Von Miller in the slot against. I was seeing that live as Von Miller's walking over to Claypool. I'm like, all right, bro, you got to call a timeout. You got to call a timeout. Like, and of course he doesn't. Of course, he doesn't know how to call timeouts, first of all. I mean, you just got to see that. Like, any other person sees that.
Yeah.
You have to call a timeout there. You just can't have Von Miller in man coverage.
Oh,
and it led up to like a 60-yard gain, and then I don't know if they eventually scored a touchdown, but still, like
I think Najee Harris scored.
Yeah.
Oh my, that was so funny. Like looking back on it, it's just like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always had this grope. Like the Broncos, for some reason, ever since Wade Phillips left, there have been a lot of packages where Bradley Chubb and Von Miller, one or the other, has been in coverage.
In coverage, yeah.
Why? I'm sure they don't practice being in coverage. Why are you doing it in a game? Mm-hmm. Like, yes, they're linebackers. They should be in coverage, but they're not normal linebackers. They're in 3-4 defense. That is their job, is to rush. It just makes sense. I don't know why that's
I don't even why is that just ever like why is that in the playbook anyway?
Like if it's a 3-4 defense, the 2 outside linebackers is supposed to rush. That's the point. So you have 5 rushers, so you have an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But they just
I'm also concerned about the run defense a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Najee Harris and the Steelers could not run the ball in the previous 3 games. I think he was averaging like a little over just 3 yards per carry. And then this Denver game, he goes 23 carries, 122 yards. I think the interior O-line is concerning. Like we got Shelby Harris, Draymond Jones in there, but they're more kind of pass rushing guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, Mike Purcell is kind of the only like big.
Yeah, he's the only run stuffer. Yeah. Yeah. The interior defensive line has been a little concerning. And just the defensive line in general, ever since the Jets game, they haven't been able to get pressure.
Oh God, they haven't any pressure.
Yeah, and I know why they didn't get pressure against Baltimore. It's because I think that was the plan. They didn't want to send pressure and allow Lamar to get outside contain, which clearly didn't work. It didn't work last game, but it didn't work against the Colts when they tried to do it. But we'll get into that later. But this game, there's no excuse to not have any pressure. Like there was 1 sack, and it was Malik Reed getting the strip sack. That was it. And,
I mean, the Steelers' offensic line is just horrible too.
Yeah,
Big Ben can't move. I mean, how do you not get to him?
Yeah. Just really that was probably the most frustrating loss.
Yeah.
In a while.
God.
In a long time, because we should have won in a blowout. And it just didn't look like anyone came prepared.
Yeah. And we'll see. The Raiders, I mean, man, if we can't
win at home with everything that's going on in that organization,
the season's over. Like
we got to blow it up. Like trade everyone immediately.
Yeah, you have to win that game.
Don't let them leave the locker room without telling them where their next flight is. Like if you can't win that game, if they don't win, I think Vic might get fired, like legitimately. Like you cannot.
That would be crazy.
Because
right after the game,
can't allow that to happen.
I just need the Broncos. I just think the Broncos need to hire someone like what the Chargers did. The Chargers are doing everything the Broncos couldn't, which is draft a quarterback and develop one, and then hire a young, smart genius.
Yeah.
And they haven't been able to do that. I hope Brian Daboll, the Bills' offensive coordinator, is available next year. But man.
Yeah, and like I don't have anything against Vic. I think, like he's in terms of being a football mind, he's incredible, and he's a defensive genius. It's why
he's the best. He's one of the best defensive coordinators like ever.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. But as a head coach, I just don't think he can see an offense properly, and I don't think that's like an insult to him. It's just he's been looking at defense for 4 years.
Yeah,
it's all he knows, and it's what he's great at, and it's what made his name. So that's just my gripe with him. Hopefully we're able to figure it out though, because it looked like we figured something out.
Yeah. Hopefully that fourth quarter gives us some momentum going into the Raiders week. So I guess we're gonna do something like a little different on this podcast. Maybe we'll try to do something a little different on each one. We're just going to have this quarterback tier list who we think are the best quarterbacks by tier, like a tier like A, tier B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we put quarterbacks in each one. So, I mean, you can start off with yours. We'll kind of talk about who we think is like where these quarterbacks rank within the tier. So, I mean, you can go.
I'll go first. So my first tier, I have Mahomes, Rodgers, and Allen. I feel like I think it's a smaller tier, but I think if you're at the top, I don't think there can be too many. But like my tier 2 isn't like a bunch of bums. Like I still think that they're very, very good quarterbacks. But I think tier 1 is like just they're on a separate level than everyone else. And I think that Mahomes, even though he's kind of struggled out of the gate, I think he's still the best quarterback in the league. Rodgers has looked really, really good ever since the first game. And I think he's probably number 2 or at worst number 3 behind Josh Allen. And Josh Allen last year, that leap that he took, a lot of people weren't convinced. I wasn't 100% convinced if it was real. I just knew he was really fun to watch. But this year he's taking it to a different level. And the Bills in general have. So I think those are my top 3. And probably in that order: Mahomes, Rodgers, Allen. Then, do you want to say your tier 1 or should I?
Yeah, I guess I'll go. for this one, I got 5 players in here, so I was a little more lenient with this. I kind of wish there was like 5 tiers that we did, because I feel like there's some players, we'll get into them, that are clearly better than some of the others in the other tiers. So I put Allen, Mahomes, Rodgers like you did, and then I added Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson. I just think that game against the Colts, like to show he threw for over 400 yards, and like that definitely just showed he's definitely he's up there, I think, with those other guys. Just the way he can throw the ball, the way he can run it. I mean, it's like no other quarterback.
That's why I said like tier 2 isn't full of bumps. Like Lamar Jackson is probably a tier A quarterback, but I limited it to 3. But I mean, if it was 4, Lamar, I think it's Lamar. Like Lamar is he's right there.
Yeah. And then I put Herbert in there. I just think that I know it's only been a year and 3 games in his career. But man, oh my God, he's so good. Like he just puts the ball on the money every single time. Like every single time with so much heat. He rolls out of the pocket. Like, I mean, he's up there with like Mahomes and Allen with the way he goes out of the pocket and just flings it deep, and it's just a perfect throw. Like sailing. I feel like guys like Josh Allen and Herbert, it's so hard to cover because you've never seen, and Mahomes, I guess, you've never seen a ball like travel this fast and just with this trajectory.
So effortlessly. Like, they don't even try, and they throw it 60 yards on a dime. Those 3's arm talent. They're on a different level.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the kind of the clear, maybe consensus top 3 quarterbacks are Mahomes, Allen, and Rodgers. I literally don't know where to rank. You could rank any of them anywhere.
Yeah.
And I would be fine with it.
Yeah. Honestly saying. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I can't, I don't know about that. And yeah, I think Lamar is probably still better than Herbert, I guess. And then we can move on to the second tier.
Yeah. So my tier 2, I have Lamar and Herbert in tier 2. They're probably the top 2 of that tier. Then I have Brady, Russell Wilson. I know he's hurt, but I think he's still up there. Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, and Matt Stafford. All 3 of those, I think there's a very distinct difference between tier 2 and tier 3. And I think it stops at Stafford and Prescott. But I think like Kyler Murray he could be front runner for MVP, I think, but I think Lamar Jackson probably took it with the last game that he had, or Josh Allen took it with the last game they had. It's probably between those 3. He's just never going to be bad in his entire career. So he's always going to be there. Russell Wilson was off to a really good start to the season before he got hurt. And I think that, he's always been one of the best. He's going to continue to be that. And then Dak Prescott, man, he's really surprised. I didn't think he'd be this good this year. Like, he started off really good last year, but this year, I mean, he just picked up immediately after the injury, and he's probably already cemented comeback player of the year. I don't think that's a question. Yeah. And then Matt Stafford, I mean, he's always been in this tier, but in the Ram system, he's elevated himself even more. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, mine is super similar to yours. Brady, Stafford. I mean, I just have all the guys that you have except for Herbert and Lamar.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brady, Stafford, Kyler, Russell Wilson, Dak, and Deshaun Watson was on here. I don't know. Just ignore Deshaun Watson, I guess. Like he's up there, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't put him just because he hasn't played, but I mean, obviously when he's on the field, he's in that tier.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, it's the same points that you made. I just think these guys are the guys in the A tier. I mean, those guys just have something generational about them, whether it's running or passing or both. And yeah, I just think the guys in the B tier aren't as talented. Obviously, they're still the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. But yeah, Brady's like interesting because I don't know where to put him. Like it's either B or A, obviously. I just think, I mean, he's so smart. He's so accurate, like he's always been. But I mean, it's pretty obvious that like Aaron Rodgers is a more talented quarterback. I don't think Brady's been the most talented quarterback ever in his career.
Yeah.
In any year, except maybe like 2007 or something. But
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Brady's just
No,
always super
it's hard to
consistent.
place him because I think especially the last 2 seasons, he's had a better supporting cast on offense than he
Yeah.
has not any of his time in New England, but probably any of the years after the Falcons Super Bowl win. Like I think that's the best supporting cast he's had in a long time. So that's definitely a reason why he's been so good. But I mean, he's just ageless, man. He just doesn't he doesn't decline. I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty down on Brady compared to most people, just because I think he's always had top defense, always had a great supporting cast, compared to Rodgers, who's always had horrible defense.
Yeah.
And not that great of a supporting cast. But yeah, I mean, Brady's amazing still. Stafford is great, like you said, amazing with the Rams. Kyler is, I mean, he definitely has the potential to go up to A tier sometime this season. Probably compared to any of the other guys in B tier. Russell Wilson's always just consistent. Dak is consistent too. Yeah. And then, like you said, there's a huge drop off pretty much from B to C tier.
Yeah, like in my C tier, I have. Well, mine's a little bit incomplete just because there's so many quarterbacks in the league. I have no clue where to rank them. Like after 10, it's very hard for me. But for me, my C tier, it probably should be bigger. But I have Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, Ryan Tannehill, Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow, and Matt Ryan. I could probably put guys like Teddy Bridgewater, Daniel Jones, and like Sam Darnold in there because I think that's guys in your C tier. But I didn't know where to place guys like that because I think they're still a little unproven.
Yeah.
But Derek Carr, and he was off to a really good start for the first 3 games, but the last 2 he's definitely been stymied a little bit. I'm not going to hold the Raiders' loss to the Bears at all because of what happened like the few days before the first Gruden email. That had to have played in their performance. So I'm not really going to blame that on him. Baker Mayfield's been pretty good this season. He's had to deal with injuries to himself and to his weapons, but he's been pretty consistent. Tannehill has had a pretty steep drop off from last year, but he's still been pretty good. Like Baker, he's had to deal with injuries. Kirk Cousins has been really, really good this season. Joe Burrow is also probably a contender for comeback player of the year, but I think Dak still has it locked up. But he's been really good. Him and Jamar Chase are such a joy to watch. Yeah. A lot of people thought they should have taken Penei Sewell, but I mean, Jamar Chase he's been incredible. He has a perfect passer rating in man coverage when targeted.
Wow.
Like this.
I mean, he's got like the same exact stats that Randy Moss did through his first 4 games.
Yeah, that duo is really, really special.
Yeah.
And then Matt Ryan, he started really slow, but the last like 3 games he's been elite. But I still think he's in the C tier. He's on the declining end of his career. But I think right now he's there.
Yeah, and this is where I kind of wanted like maybe an extra tier because it's obvious that Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins and Matt Ryan and Baker, like they're all better than Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones. But yeah, I have a lot more because I use this like tier maker thing that has all the quarterbacks, so I remembered a lot more. Burrow, Wentz, Jones, Cousins, Bridgewater, Baker, Derek Carr, Tannehill, Sam Darnold, Matt Ryan. Yeah, I mean, these guys are just obviously better than the guys in the D tier and obviously worse than the guys in the B tier.
And most of the time, C is like average. I don't think a lot of these guys are average. Like
these guys are,
they're definitely above average quarterbacks. I agree. Like there probably should like a C.5 here for like Daniel Jones and Darnold, but it's not like bad. I don't think C tier is bad. Like they're definitely very good quarterbacks.
Yeah. D tier though, these guys are pretty bad. We didn't rank any of the rookies. Like obviously all the rookies would, if we were to rank them right now, are obviously the worst quarterbacks in the league pretty much. But yeah, we didn't rank them because you just can't. So D tier, I guess you don't even have
Yeah,
him.
I didn't have a D tier, but it's filled with the same quarterback.
Yeah.
I was thinking of those guys.
These two guys I put in are kind of still unproven, but they have more experience than the rookie guys. I put Tua in here, Jalen Hurts, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jared Goff, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Lock. He's on there. I don't know why. But, Ryan Fitzpatrick and Gardner Minshew. I just think these guys are below average. Can't really contribute to wins. Other than maybe Jalen Hurts is the most like dynamic out of all these guys.
Yeah.
But he's got problems. And Tua, I think, is just kind of I've talked about Tua a lot. I just don't think he has that much potential. Jimmy G, Jared Goff, Big Ben now at this point in his career, they're just all game managers. Yeah.
Those are all like below average game managers. They're not good. I'm glad the Broncos don't have a quarterback. I mean, Drew Lock is in there, but I think that I think he's probably better than most of the guys there. Yeah. But like, I think that Jared Goff is a weird guy to place because I don't think he's quite as bad as the rest of them.
Yeah.
But he also has a lot of plays where he looks worse than them.
It's weird. He puts up pretty big numbers through his career, but you just know, like watching him, like, man, there's just seems like there's just a lot of points, a lot of yards just left out on the field.
It's like Andre Drummond. Like people say Andre Drummond can have a 30-30 game.
Yeah.
No impact.
No impact. Yeah.
It's like that's exactly the same thing with Goff. It's very weird. He's looked good in Detroit, I will say. He has looked good in Detroit. And that's hard to do because they have no one. But he's probably the hardest guy to place out of that tier.
Yeah. I think that pretty much wraps the tiers up. We'll go through our picks like we always do. Both went 11-6 this week, which is better than what we went last week. I kind of forget what we went, but it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I think we went 9.
Yeah.
9-7.
Yeah, it was
9-8
brutal. But yeah, we'll go through these again, kind of talk a little bit about each game. The Seahawks Rams, that was Thursday, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a Thursday.
Yeah.
Pretty good game, honestly.
Yeah, it was.
Because Geno Smith, I didn't think he was that good, but he played pretty good when he was there.
Yeah, he played really well.
But yeah, Rams just had a very clear talent advantage, especially after Russ went down.
Yeah. I mean, Cooper Kupp is crazy. Yeah. But you picked the Seahawks. I picked the Rams.
Yeah.
This next game, it's way too early. Being in Arizona, I could not watch any of this game with them playing in London. Jets, Falcons. We both picked the Jets, and we lost. I think Zach Wilson, I feel like had I think that was like his worst game as a pro. I know he had that like 3 interception game, that one game, but then played well in the second half. This game, he just didn't play well.
Didn't look good at all. Yeah.
So yeah, not much more to talk about there because
I mean Kyle Pitts finally had a breakout, which is that's good to see because
he's generational.
Yeah, as a tight end talent for sure. You don't find a guy that athletic in the tight end position ever.
Patriots played. Who did they play?
They played the Texans. That was
a
much closer game than it should have been. We both picked the Patriots, but man,
the Texans were up like the whole game pretty much.
Davis Mills finally had a good game.
That was wild after he couldn't throw against the team they played last week.
He had such a bad game.
Yeah, and then this week he goes 21 for 29. 312 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean,
he has the longest neck I've ever seen. It's hilarious. It's an advantage.
Oh my god!
He over anything, right? It's huge.
What the?
He finally played good. Mac Jones did not. Mac Jones didn't play really good.
Dude, his neck adds like his neck's like 2 inches longer than like an average.
It looks so odd.
That was funny.
Mac Jones didn't really play good this game.
Yeah.
They kind of relied on the run and they got a little lucky at the end. But that's a huge win for the Patriots. They needed a win so bad.
Vikings played. This Vikings Lions game. There were a lot of crazy endings, but this one was crazy too. Vikings finally
so bad for Lions fans.
I know.
Oh my God.
But the Vikings finally make a crucial field goal.
Yeah.
It feels like they never do, but yeah, I mean, just the Lions really the Vikings should have won, and then something happened. I forget. The Lions ended up getting the ball back. I feel like, did someone fumble or something?
I think it might have been Madison.
Yeah.
It was like under 2 minutes. The game won, and then they fumbled. Lions got it. They scored a touchdown with like 30 seconds left. They got the 2-point conversion to go up 2. Or no, to go up 1. They took. Oh, excuse me. They went 17. They went up 17-16, and the Vikings just drove down and hit a field goal at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, feel bad for Vikings or for Lions fans. I feel bad for Dan Campbell, their head coach.
Yeah.
He's so tough, and like to see him cry, like I feel like people like that, like they're so tough that they're able to cry.
Yeah.
Because like most of the tough guys are like fake tough guys. They don't want to cry or anything, but to show that he's got the emotion is crazy. I think.
Yeah. I think he's the right coach for that team.
Yeah.
He looks like they're the best 0-5 team I've seen in a while. They've been in almost every single game, so yeah. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be good. But we both picked the Vikings as well.
Yeah. Panthers, Eagles, we both picked the Panthers because they're obviously the better team, and they just lost it. They just
classic Sam Darnold game.
Yeah.
He was 21 for 37, 177 yards and 3 picks. Like
3 picks.
Ooh.
Yeah. They had this game won pretty much, and they just
at the end score. At the end the Eagles got a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Big win for them. I don't think Eagles will make the playoffs, by the way, but just a big win just to make it look like they can.
Yeah.
So the Panthers need to win. They need to win the next game, otherwise they're gonna have to ask some questions.
Washington against the Saints. I picked Washington. You picked the Saints, and you won that one. I feel like Washington kind of controlled this game. I was like watching Red Zone, and then the Saints got that Hail Mary at the end of the half.
Yeah, that really changed. I think that changed the game.
Yeah, that did change the game. So yeah, I just wanted to say like just something about this game. I think Marshawn Lattimore is just a beast. He's awesome again. I mean, like when he has games like this, I feel like he always like something with Marshawn Lattimore that's weird to me is like he'll play so well against people he's got like something personal with someone. And he was going against Terry McLaurin, like they were college teammates at Ohio State, and he held Terry McLaurin, I think, to only like 2 receptions. He tied Lattimore tied the most passes defense since 2017. He had 6 of them. And so when he played like Mike Evans, he's got beef with, he'll show up for that game. Against Julio Jones, he'll show up for that. But then other games he'll just play like he's bored, and I don't know. But when he plays like that, I mean, I think he's like a top 5 corner, and he's amazing.
He's very, very good. I think he's the best player on that Saints defense.
Yeah.
And I think Jameis Winston has been really good. He has a 12-3 touchdown to interception ratio.
Oh wow,
which is pretty good for a guy who's known for throwing 30 picks. 12-3 is pretty darn good.
Yep. So yeah, I lost that one. Titans played the
Jags.
Jags, and they just blew them out. I mean, it was the Jags. Buccaneers blew the God.
Dolphins,
how am I? The Dolphins. Do you have?
We picked the Titans as well for the other one. Both of us picked Titans. Both of us picked the Bucks. That wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Especially because Jacoby Brissett was hurt for a bit too.
Oh,
that quarterback situation is dicey.
Mm-hmm. What's the next one? I'm losing it right now. Where is? Okay, Bucks. Okay. I was trying to see. Do you think the Bucks? I feel like they're still the best team in the NFC. Even with the Cardinals being 5-0, I would still take the Bucks, and I feel like I would still take the Rams over the Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably take the Bucks too. Their defense finally had a good game. Like that's probably their first good game of the entire year. Well, they had a good game against Atlanta, but this is their first like real good game. Cards have struggled with teams that they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And they're 5-0. I mean, 5-0 is fine. Like they're winning the games that they should, but they're struggling in them. And I would probably also take the Rams over the Cards at this point. Even though the Cards did beat the Rams, I think if they met in the playoffs, I think the Rams would win.
Yeah. And then Packers Bengals. This was the crazy game I thought that I confused with the Vikings Lions. This one was, I mean, 5 missed field goals since like 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. And then they go into overtime and they both miss again in overtime.
Yeah.
And finally Mason Crosby hits one to win it. I mean, it's just insane. It's like these kickers just didn't want to just win this game.
Yeah. I swear the kick in overtime, the Evan McPherson's kick in overtime, I thought was straight down the middle. And he did too. Like he did too. Like he jumped in Holder's arms. Everyone was celebrating and he missed.
I know.
I thought it was straight down the middle. It looked like he nailed it and then he missed.
And then I think it hit like the flag, right?
Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, oh, I remember saying audibly when I was watching, I was like, oh, he drilled it. And then he missed on what?
Sometimes these, I don't know if you're watching Alabama A&M, extra point A&M made to win that game. It looked completely offline, and then it's like, nope. I just feel like sometimes these balls, like someone's like controlling it with like.
There was a kick like that.
Just make no sense
in the Cardinals and Niners game. Like Matt Prater came out for like a 60-yarder.
Oh yeah.
It looked like it was straight, and then just boom.
I know, and then it ended up being way off.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know what the physics are. I gotta see it. Yeah. So I don't know that, but it's very weird.
And then the Broncos Steelers. We both picked the Broncos. We already talked about that. I don't want to talk more about it. We both lost that. Raiders Bears. We both picked the Raiders. This was before any of the John Gruden stuff. And yeah, they look bad right now. Justin Fields looked pretty good.
I hope he's okay. I mean, hyperextended his knee. They say he's all right, but that it didn't look good. He looked good. Damian Williams looked really good. We talked about it earlier, but he looked really good too. That defense finally had a good game. The
Mac attack is back.
Very poetic. Gruden's last game.
Yeah.
Game of the hand to Khalil Mack.
Chargers Browns. We both actually picked the Chargers. And they won. Cowboys against the Giants. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys just blew them out pretty much. I mean, I feel like the Giants kind of were hanging in there.
They were in there until Jones got hurt.
Yeah.
Everyone. They came in the game without Shepard or Slayton, and they were still in the game. And then Saquon gets hurt. And then Kenny Galladay gets hurt. And then Daniel Jones gets hurt. And you're like, oh my God.
I feel like that was like all on like one drive too. Or like one quarter.
So fast.
Yeah. And I feel bad for him. Kadarius Toney was amazing in this game though, man. He's just like he's like video game like joystick or whatever. I mean, human joystick.
Yeah, they finally got him the ball.
Yeah.
Just hadn't been getting him the ball at all. And he finally
just put him in space and he'll go crazy. And then he'll also punch a player at the end of the game and they get a pick. And then the Niners played the Cardinals. You picked the Cardinals. I picked the Niners. And obviously the Cardinals won. And the Niners, man, they just I don't know.
This was with Trey Lance, so that offense is definitely a little different. Trey Lance flashed a little bit. I think he has to change his throwing motion.
Oh,
he seems like
it's so like elongated.
Yeah, it's so low too. Like he starts it like here.
Yeah,
I feel like he just has to start it higher. I mean, I'm not an expert on anything, but I just feel like he has to start a little higher because he either overthrows them by a mile like he did on the first drive, or he underthrows it.
I know.
And he has crazy.
And again, like we were saying in the preseason, I think like every throw he throws is like 100-mile-per-hour ball.
Yeah.
Like he's got no touch on any of his throws.
Yeah. They've got to figure that out.
I mean, that's man.
It's his first start. Like he can he can fix it.
Yeah. For sure.
I mean.
Oh, I also didn't like how I think he had 16 carries.
That's a lot.
And he didn't slide
Yeah.
By the way, on any of them, and that's just way.
That's too many hits.
Too many hits.
That's how RG3 went out of the league.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to last very long at all in the league if he's doing that. So I mean, Shanahan's got to change something. I mean,
Shanahan's dad was the guy that got RG3 out of the league. And now his son is doing the same thing.
But something just seems off about the Niners. It's like they're a Super Bowl talented roster. That defense is obviously amazing still, but Kyle Shanahan, everyone I still think he is, but everyone was like thinking like he's one of the best coaches right now. But I feel like, and like his offense or whatever is so innovative and everything, but they can't move the ball sometimes, and they can't score.
No, they can't. It's really weird. The quarterback issue is very odd because Jimmy Garoppolo is not a guy who's going to be a dynamic playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
And Trey Lance, you envision him being a guy like that, but right now, I mean,
he just
the best asset is his legs.
Yeah.
But man, I think they probably need another receiver. Because with George Kittle on IR, Deebo Samuel's your only true offensive weapon. Starting a rookie quarterback, and I mean Trey Lance is hurt too. I'm pretty sure they said he might be out a couple of weeks, so they're gonna be. I thought they were easily gonna make the playoffs. I thought they could have even won the division, but without Lance or Garoppolo or Kittle, or Mostert, like they're gonna have some trouble.
Yeah. Bills, Chiefs. You talked about that. I picked the Bills. You picked the Chiefs. Bills won that, and then Ravens. This is what put Lamar up in the A tier. Like I said, I mean, he's unbelievable.
Yeah. I said that in the Broncos game when we played him. If you can keep him in the pocket, you're going to be able to win. That game, he kind of proved that, I can throw. If you force me to throw, I'm going to be able to throw, and he did. And then this game, oh my God. I mean, he had 14 carries, but that was most of them were in the first half. Like he was just slinging it in the second half.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. He only missed 3 passes the whole second half, and Mark Andrews had a ridiculous game. But I mean, Lamar, he's probably I would have him as a front runner for MVP right now. With how many injuries are on that team, the fact that they are 4-1 is ridiculous.
And that comeback was ridiculous too. I think were they down 22-3?
Yeah.
In the beginning or in the end of the third quarter. So
yeah, I have to give props to Carson Wentz as well because he looked like the best he's played in years. Literally since 2017 is the best I've seen him play. So
the Broncos remain the only team that cannot throw against the Ravens.
Yeah. That was so weird. I don't know what we were thinking. Because even I know Teddy got hurt, but even when he was healthy, he wasn't able to get anything going.
Yeah. All right. So our picks for next week. The Thursday night game is the Buccaneers at the Eagles. I feel like we're never gonna pick against the Bucs.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to pick against them.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. The Dolphins Jaguars at 6:30 Pacific time in London.
Oh,
I don't know.
They sent the 4 worst teams in the league.
I know.
Are you kidding?
Why do they always send the Jags to London? That's weird to me. It's like I feel like they're trying to get the Jags to be the London team, but they just never have made that move yet.
God. You know what? I'm going Jags.
I think I will too.
Going Jags.
This is like probably the only time.
This is the only time we'll pick them, but I'm going Jags. They have to win a game, and the Dolphins are not good.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is better than. Actually, I think Tua is coming back this week, so.
But he can come off of IR. I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Vikings Panthers. Ooh.
Oh wow.
I mean, the Vikings are way better than 2-3.
Yeah.
Panthers have been struggling.
I'm gonna go Vikings.
Yeah, I am too. That's a tough one, but
yeah, that is a tough one. Is it? Assuming it's in Carolina, right?
Yeah, it's at Carolina.
Yeah. Actually, no. I'll go Panthers.
Okay.
If it's that home, I'll pick Panthers.
I'll stay with the Vikings. This is a good game. Chargers at the Ravens. I don't know why this is just a early slate game.
Yeah, because for the Sunday night game is Steelers-Seahawks.
Oh my God, I know. Yeah, Chargers-Ravens. I'm going to go with. I think the Chargers are real, like real.
Yeah.
I
don't think the Ravens defense can.
I'm gonna
go Chargers. I don't think the Ravens defense can do anything against that offense.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a good game, though.
Yeah, it is. You gotta wake up for that, though. It should at least be like a 1:00 game. I guess they don't really do that for like East.
What time is it?
It's at 10 a.m.
Well, that is the 1:00 game.
I mean, 1:00 our time.
Oh, yeah.
4 Eastern.
Yeah.
All right. Rams, Giants. I mean, pretty obvious. Rams.
Yeah.
The
Giants.
They're so hurt.
I'm excited to see Tony versus Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, true.
I'm sure Jalen Ramsey will do very good. Tony's route running is insane, so a good matchup.
Texans, Colts at the Colts. I mean, I just got to go with the Colts here.
Yeah.
We'll see if Davis Mills can kind of build on that performance he had last week. This could be a good game. Chiefs at Washington. I mean, the Washington defense has been very underwhelming, but I mean, they still got some guys out there. And
but their offense is the question. But the Chiefs defense.
Yeah.
Oh, this could be like a low-key shootout.
I know. I mean,
both these guys could end up in the 30s.
Yeah. This kind of feels like a trap game for the Chiefs.
I have to go Chiefs.
I know you had, man.
Oof.
You just have to. It's crazy that we're even talking about the Chiefs like losing. I'm gonna go with Washington. I just think they're. Yeah.
And they have the same record. They both be. They both be 2-4, right?
Yeah.
Or would Washington would be 3-3. Right?
Yeah. Washington would be 3-3. The Chiefs would be 2-4. It'd be crazy. Packers, Bears at the Bears. Could be a decent game too, I guess. But I'm gonna go with the Packers.
Yeah, Packers have looked pretty good.
Yeah. Bengals, Lions. The Bengals keep impressing me week after week. I keep picking against them. And I mean, obviously they didn't win last week, but they were in that game, which I didn't think they would be.
They should have won like 4 times, but I'll go with them. I don't think this is the week Lions get their win.
Cardinals, Browns. I'm gonna say this is the Cardinals' first loss in Cleveland.
Oh, me too.
I think the Browns can kind of run all over them.
Yeah.
This could be a shootout type of game too.
I still don't trust their defense.
Yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah.
I know they have some good players out there, but I still don't trust them.
Cowboys, Patriots at New England. I mean, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
I'm gonna go.
A lot of these are like potential upsets. Like this could. I mean, the Patriots could win this.
I'm gonna go Patriots. I think this is the defense that can stifle the Cowboys' offense because they really haven't played anyone who's been able to slow them down.
Yeah, true. Raiders, Broncos. We've both picked the Broncos in every week so far, and I mean that's not going to change for me, I guess.
We're always going to be optimistic about it. Like I think when they play the Chiefs, we'll think about it. When they play, do they play the Bills this year? I don't think we do, right?
No, but we play at Cleveland next week.
Oh God! Oh, Dan, it's Thursday night.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
I'll probably pick against them then.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, if we don't win, Twitter is going to be a roller coaster.
Eat it. Next game. Oh yeah, Seahawks, Steelers, Sunday night game. Geno Smith against Big Ben. I mean, I'm going to go with the Steelers. Like Big Ben looked better, and they just Claypool and Deontay Johnson are both really good.
Steelers defense is still good.
Yeah,
like the defense has played really good.
Yeah.
And with Geno, Geno hasn't played nearly as bad as I thought he would, but I don't think he'll be able to replicate it.
And then Monday night is Bills at the Titans. I feel like the Titans, like in years prior, have played the Bills pretty well. But I'm still gonna go with the Bills.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Bills. Is it at home?
No, it's at Tennessee.
I still go with Buffalo. They're insane.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous.
They're a powerhouse.
Derrick Henry could carry that team though. He can carry them over if their offensive line could just get a couple of holes. I think Buffalo or Tennessee has a chance to win. But
yeah,
until Buffalo shows they have a weakness, I can't pick against them.
Yeah, this is week 6 already. Like I'm looking like in 1 week the Broncos are gonna play week 7 already.
Oh God. At least basketball's starting soon.
Yeah. Football season goes by way too fast.
It goes by so fast. It's ridiculous. Good thing is, though, that the time in football season goes by fast, too.
Yeah.
But when it starts, which is, thank God, it's coincidentally with the school year. School year just
I know, right?
flies.
Yeah.
It's good. But yeah. That'll be it, I think.
Yep.
This episode. Lot to talk about. Long episode. I don't think we meant for it to be this long, but I'm glad there was a lot of stuff. So hopefully next week we'll be able to get a lot of stuff out. We'll be able to preview the NBA season. Hopefully not preview the World Series, but talk about the championship stuff. So be on the lookout for that. And thanks for listening, and peace.
Bye.